guys, welcome back to part 2 with Kitchen Design House and Connor from Hinch Flooring Services. Thank you, Connor. Yeah. This one, I thought it would be a good place to maybe kick off the conversation with clients that have projects at the moment that they will be renovating their kitchens. Mm-hmm. Would you recommend clients to have the kitchen installed first or the floor installed first? A bone of contention for us.
Yeah, this question is where Karen and I first met.
Yeah.
Many moons ago now, it feels. So, in our experience and in the professional opinion, kitchen first.
Yeah.
Every time. Mm-hmm. Because majority of the floors that we install are floating floors. Now, to anyone out there who doesn't know what a floating floor is, it's a floor that isn't glued or adhesed directly down to the subfloor that it's fitted onto. Mm-hmm. So over the top of an underlayment. Those floors need to be able to move. Mm. So throughout the year, in the Northern Ireland, British Isles.
Yeah, climate.
We have a climate that it's a fairly stable climate throughout the year. So you would expect for 4 or 5 mil really of movement in a floor, and these just the surreal sort of average. It's not exact. So that floor needs to be able to do that whenever it's installed. If you come in and then install your kitchen directly on top of that, you essentially pin your floor in one spot. The rest of the floor tries to move around it, and you run the risk of the joints actually ripping themselves apart. Yeah. Because once that floor is installed as one solid piece, there is a lot of strength and a lot of power in it once it starts trying to move onto itself. Yeah. So, kitchen first.
Your herringbone, we came across against this. Obviously, there's... That floor can't have substantial weight placed on it, so that makes your job 10 times harder.
Yeah, and especially with the herringbone, because there's so many more joints in the floor, there's so many more opportunities for the joints to feel. And we never want to see that happen on any of the floors that we ever install. So we always give the advice, make sure that your kitchen goes in first and your floor goes in afterwards.
Yes. I will ensure that every kitchen of ours is put in first, but it makes our job so much easier as well for the fitters. You know, they aren't coming back then. Well, with you, you're great that way that you know how to put plinths back on and you work around panels. So we're very accommodating with each other, which is why it's great to build that relationship, because it makes life easier for the end client. Where if companies don't have that relationship, and it's like we said in part 1 of this podcast, that some trades just disregard the next trade that's coming in behind them, which is hell for the client, because they're living going, oh, I didn't know that needed done, and then they're panicking to try and make sure it's okay for you, to make sure it's okay for me. So if there's that relationship there, that we're going to go, no problem, Connor, I'll ensure that that's done, ready for you to come in, and vice versa, you'll do that for us. You'll pop a kicker on and save us driving maybe 2 hours to the site to put a kicker on.
100%. And as you say, if trades work together in the likes of that, it makes everybody's life so much easier, and especially the customers. And
time is money even for clients. So, you know, if we're not wasting their time, everything's just a lot more efficient, and the client's then happy at the end of the journey with you and with I. But thank you. Hopefully that gives clarity for people. And your skirting boards have been a thing that has come up in our design conversations with people.
Yes.
So I think there's a couple of new products on the market, or it's not just your traditionally wood skirtings that are available now.
Yeah, so there's such a vast array of options whenever it comes to skirtings or a finishing trim. So from your traditional, you could have went the likes of pine skirting or mahogany. Still, you find them from time to time as well.
Not on any of our jobs.
Not on any of those jobs now.
Not yet.
But it seems that the whole trend has now changed and moved towards your MDF skirting, which is, I would say, probably the most popular option that's out there. And from that, you can go for the MDF primed skirting, which, if you have a decorator coming in afterwards, they can then just paint straight onto. Great, happy days. I know that we offer the paper wrapped MDF option, so it actually gives clients the opportunity that if they don't want to go for a traditional just white finish on a skirting board or an architrave as well, they have the option of being able to match the decor of the floor that they've installed to the skirting and the architrave as well.
Yeah,
so it can be a nice in the right settings.
Yes, exactly.
And the other one then PVC.
Yeah.
So for all the
that's been the popular one that people's asking for advice on, and you know, do we think that was what I was going to say. Yeah, the dust can't settle. So it is a perfect selection for people that maybe that irks them. Oh, that's dusty, I don't want to have that. So there is a product out there genuinely for everybody to choose from. If people's working on a budget, so the likes of our property developers, you know, they're wanting to invest in a home, but they don't want to spend crazy money because they're going to be renting it out. What would you advise is the best product for them to start looking at?
So your laminates are probably going to be the better option.
Okay.
And generally speaking, 8mm laminate, in my own opinion, and it is only my opinion, but just from experience, I tend to find that if you go any less than the 8mm laminate, you're potentially going to find more fault later on down the line with the floor in its lifespan. An 8mm laminate with, again, a correctly prepared subfloor and a good underlayment underneath it, the manufacturer guarantees for 15, 20, 25 years in a domestic setting. So, you know, as a landlord, it's a lower investment into the property, but it's giving you the best impact because the range of decors and options that you have there are so vast. Yeah,
and it can still look quite luxurious without having the hefty price tag.
Exactly.
Which obviously they won't want to spend because it's not their own home that they're going to be living in. When we're talking about that on a budget, obviously properties with really young children, the likes of that first time buyer market, or people that find themselves in a self-build and they are starting to run out of money, but they don't want to cut drastic corners near the finish line where it's going to look really low end. Is there a product out there that you're like, I know the key thing and this is what I would advise you to come in and ask for, to look at? Would you recommend engineered flooring, or is that just going to blow the budget?
Well, so you've almost given me two different scenarios to work with there, and I'll very quickly, I know I can go on a little bit, but very quickly. So for the self-build side of things, especially if it's a brand new build, we always have to be very, very conscious of if there's been a freshly poured screed floor, how long has that screed floor been poured for before then bringing in any of the wood products? Because we go back, talk about the moisture content levels there needs to be a mark where it hits that we're then able to install over the top of. SPC has a wee bit more flexibility into that, and the LVT has a bit more flexibility into that as well because it's not a wood-based product. So if you're on a budget in the house but are looking for something that's really authentic but is going to stand up to the test of time, because at the end of the day, if you're on a budget, you can sometimes stretch that budget a wee bit further if it's for something that is going to be down for a long time and is going to deal with all the foot traffic and the water and the stones on your shoes and everything else. And
day-to-day living, really.
Day-to-day living of a busy household. So one of our flooring range is now Vinyl Pro. So it's an AC5 rated floor, which basically is for high commercial footfall. So it is a tough floor. It also is a hydrophobic floor. So it repels water away from it. So it is a laminate floor, but the way that it's actually composed, it's short lesson, make it very quick for you. Wood fibres encapsulated in resin. The resin is finer, so it encapsulates the wood fibres better.
Very good.
Lots of water. Keep it short and sweet. So that right now, and it has just been so popular because there's so much flexibility with the product in the sense that you have your options of underlays that you can put underneath them, which is a big pro against the likes of LVT flooring, which has to be installed on a single underlayment that is no more than a mil and a half thick.
You're really going to
your paper thin. because as
Yard
I
of the
said,
mill with that.
yeah. So there's a bit more flexibility in your laminate
Yeah.
product.
And in that flooring, does the subfloor have to be as perfect as the LVT prep flooring? Can you get is there more wiggle room?
there is slightly more wiggle room.
Okay.
And
But we
I
still need to
begrudge
get it.
saying that
Okay.
because still get that
Yes,
preparation
okay,
done.
yes. Understood. If the client, and you know, a lot of new builds now that are self-builds under floor heating, would that flooring be suitable for the likes of that client?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
And it's the same, to be honest, with any of your fluted floor systems and
Okay.
any of your glue down systems. As long as you have the correct underlayments underneath them that are designed for use with underfloor heating.
And those products, if clients don't want to go for the herringbone aesthetic or the plank boards, are they available in a tiled effect?
Yes, so we also have quite a 7 or 8 different decors now in our laminate in the tile effects. As well, then we have a few more then beyond that in our LVT SPC range. So again, becoming very popular because if you want that look and feel of a tile, but don't necessarily want to have the cold that can come along with a tile, especially if you don't have underfloor heating underneath.
Or the damages?
And the damages.
The cracks?
Yeah.
Let's not get into that with young kids. Yeah, just in case people want to go for tiles, and yeah, we'll avoid that topic now. Move on.
Your next guest will end up being a tiler and they'll be going, what did you say about
I know. Yeah, so I'll just stay quiet on that one. I don't want to put people off. But yeah, they're a great product. And, you know, I think you've said that there's 130.
Oh, we
flooring?
stock something about 130 different options that you can have in decors and thickness and style.
So you genuinely do have a product for nearly every client.
Yes.
Okay. Even the particular ones like me.
Even the particular ones like you, Karen.
Thank you very much. Connor, is there anything that you would like to leave the podcast with to give some top tips to clients or?
Yeah, very simply, and I know it's been something that we've talked about quite a lot in our conversation tonight, but if you are having new floors installed, do allow a wee bit extra in your mind for any preparation work that might need to be done.
In their budget, do you mean?
Into the budget,
Okay,
Just allow that wee bit more room. As I was saying to you earlier on, roughly in a room, 30 square metres with maybe only needing 3 to 5 mil of self-leveling work done to it, you could be ranging between 150, 200 pounds, you know, as a rough idea.
And that's all people want to know.
Yeah.
A rough estimate of what they could be in trouble for if they lift the floor up. What are they going to spend? Yeah. And I think that's a fear factor with people. You know, a lot of people dance around the subject of saying, yes, okay, you know, we might run into issues, but it can be sorted as long as you allow this amount of money for it. So thank you very much, Connor. You have gave a wealth of knowledge, and hopefully clients find it easier coming in and being able to pick a product and know what products are available for open plan living, you know, what not to possibly put in the likes of a kitchen that's going to have water or mopping up the floors. So you've even taught me some things. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
And thank you for joining us on take 2 of the podcast with Hinch Flooring Services. If you are interested in coming along to Connor's showroom, his socials are at Hinch Flooring Services. You will find him on his website, Instagram, Facebook, and Hinch.